What's up, guys? This is the Rebel Underground Podcast. I am your host, Coherent, and I'm here with my buddy, XT Dream. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming.
So, we were supposed to do this a little earlier, but on his way, his car just shits the bed. So, he's getting that handled right now. His family's helping him out right now. But we're in the cut doing this interview real quick. I'm glad we can make it happen because he's a really interesting person. Somebody you need to know about, a real fan and supporter as well, and an artist, a really talented artist. So we're going to get into that with you today, XT.
Nice.
So let's start it off. Talk about your background. I don't think anybody's really covered your story. So just talk about your background musically. How did you get into music, and who were some of your influences when you first started?
So, yeah, as far as, just getting into music, not really thinking about performing or any of that, just as a listener and growing up. It's interesting to even think about now because I don't always reflect on those things.
Yeah.
So mainly, I just listened to old rock with the parents, things like that.
That's what I grew up on too, bro.
And it wasn't like I was like seek those things. Obviously, it's just chosen for you, and then I start learning, and then 90s music, things like that. That were like I never truly like had a direction. It was always around me, and I liked to
so you just picked up
sing
on the vibes
radios
of everything,
and just the things of those times. I guess it was just nostalgic. So moving on from listening and things like that, I would say the more conscious music that started getting to me was video game music, believe it or not. So getting into video game music kind of started shaping my mind in just orchestral ways, like just that style of music. I'm not going to name anything specifically, but more in-depth music, I guess. And I started playing guitar when I was 14. And
I was blowing up.
Oh, that's fine. Anyway, and so I think those moments combined, I started to create, to more evolve in those senses.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's
so
where it started.
You're a pretty deep person, man. Like the first time I ever met you, I think we were at like Sparkle Bar's house, fucking late at night. Everybody's all fucked up.
Oh yeah.
But we were freestyling and shit, and I could just get your vibe that you're like a very conscious, spiritual person. Do you think that element like plays into the musical element?
It definitely does, especially with, I call it the spiritual hip hop stuff I'm doing, where I evolve. I incorporate that into the genre, so it definitely is a part of that. And it's more of just me being myself, and it's always positive usually, and just expressing it, so it kind of comes natural in those forms. So yeah, it's definitely interesting, to hear other people's perspectives seeing me, because that's what I want to express, so the people that understand that, I could tell you're a deep person right away in those things.
Yeah, no, the image you portray is definitely who you are, which is kind of cool, man. There's not a lot of people that are real like that. Like, if you meet XT, you're going to get the same vibe from him every time you talk to dude. Real laid back, chill, always even keel, not too emotional, but he's empathetic at the same time, like, interesting cat right here. So you can see that in his music a lot of the time too. Where can they find your music real quick?
Yeah, applying that on another note, but before you can find my music, applying that to music is like the challenge, like not really, but it's the fun part, the creative process of being like that, but putting it to music and that relationship with each other to express. It almost creates its own expression.
Well, hip hop is expression. It's self-expression. So I mean,
right at the very
you have to take your mind and put it into that art form in a way that speaks to you. Because if you're not, then you're not being authentic, and you're not really living up to the principles of hip hop, or the principles of your soul at the same time. So it's really important to have that balance that you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And the whole balance right now, I'm looking at you in the camera, I'm looking at you here, like I'm trying to balance all these things. Which one am I listening to? Like you're talking so deep, but I'm looking at the video. So
anybody watching, please give us some questions. If you got a question for XT, as you get to know him a little bit, maybe you'll think of something, just drop it. We got it right here. It's posted.
Yeah,
so
we're in the moment. It's all good. Yeah. So that's what we like. I love being in the moment.
But what about so you said you listen to classic rock. like who are some of your major influences then, like musically? Name some artists. It doesn't have to be hip hop.
I wouldn't say like any classic rock bands are my influences. Like I've listened to them, like, and it's not even classic rock. I'd say it's hard for like to get like those times are just like I was saying, just listening. It wasn't more of influence. That's just an introduction to music, I guess.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Right.
But it wasn't.
But you
I
were
guess
too
it
young to
me
understand
at that time.
Yeah, you were too young to understand.
Brain, but I maybe just kicked the musical thing within me. But
like in high school, who were the guys that you really listened to?
I mean, when I was in high school, I was definitely into Under Oath and Coheed and Cambria were like the two bands that influenced me. More of like hardcore things. Like I was always going to concerts like all the time. Like in that scene, like I was playing guitar. I was either doing solo music or played in a couple bands, things like that. So I was definitely progressing just musically, like discovering music. Like once you find an artist and then you find similar artists, no matter what genre it is, you usually just start to find good things. But there's always that one CD or one artist that like pushed you to even want to discover those things. So after listening to bands like that and opening my mind in those ways and just learning those songs, singing with them, just starting to want to create your own music because you're so inspired.
Cheers from the UK to my boy Alex.
There we go.
Cheers real quick from my buddies right here. Bang.
Exquisitry. Cheers.
What's up, Brian? Brian he's got a radio show too. He's like dissecting fucking rappers and shit. Like, who's the top 10? I'm in that bitch. So shout outs to Brian. Go check out his podcast as well, FKG. But back to my man here. So I don't know. You're jumping around the question. Give me some artists. Give me one artist that you would say really inspired you.
Or could it be a band? I guess.
A band, yeah, a band.
Oh yeah, I'd say Coheed and Cambria would be the one that I would say of all.
Oh, you did say Under Oath.
Just starting going to their concerts and like seeing people live that were performing from their hearts and things. Yeah. I don't know, we've all been to a show where you get that feeling, like if you are an artist, you're like, I could do that easy, or like you just get that inspiration when you're leaving, like, oh, you want to do it, and then that slowly fades sometimes.
Dude, I always get that. When I see a bunch of dope rappers just killing it, it makes me want to rap so bad. So actually, that's a really good segue into the next question. Let's talk about the difference, like, between recording and performing, and maybe talk about the different feelings and like the different approaches to that. What's your perspective on that?
It's definitely a big difference because as an artist, I would say I started recording more than performing or any of that. So I just started recording myself. Like I said, I started playing guitar. I'd say at the same time I started playing, I was also started recording just because for some reason I wanted to do that. Even before I was doing that, we'll go back to the inspiration of video game music. I had like a little tape recorder, and then I would tape the video game music that I liked through the microphone. Just press the button. It was a Sony little yellow one, and then just play them on the tape later just so I could listen to them, things like that. So I started recording very early, and then I started playing guitar and freestyling my vocals. Like I never really wanted to sing or like do that, but it just started coming naturally. Slowly evolving into making songs that didn't make sense, but they were in the moment, to starting to play, have my own song, so to speak. So I was performing and recording at the same time for a long time, but mainly recording was fun. I would say when I was 14, I got a program called Hammerhead, which was like one of the first looping programs created, and it was like really easy, really cool at that time. It was, I guess, the only thing available that you could do. So I would start doing loops of beats and like record random stuff on it, so to speak, that I was still evolving. And now we'll get to the performing aspect, which the recording probably lasted from 14 to from that point on. Right. And when I started to evolve musically, like, because I would say I performed in bands and stuff before I started going solo and doing spiritual hip hop stuff. So I'm just gonna get to that. Like I just went to an open mic. I was wanted to check the scene. I was ready to do my song called Light Signal. I would say like the first spiritual hip hop track. I was ready to perform. Right. I had it in my mind. It was already recorded, and after I performed that track live and just getting interesting feedback, you know, having control over everything. And that's one of the aspects I record myself, because I feel like I want to control everything. Like, something's wrong with me. It's just like, I like, you know, messing with it all the time, learning as you go. Like, that really is how I got into it. I learned as I went with recording. I got better and better. I did go to school for it as well.
Okay.
And then, you know, graduated for that, but still always kept it to myself. I did it for myself. I went to school just to have that knowledge. Just to enrich yourself. It wasn't like, oh, I need to truly get a job with it. I would love that, but I was more just working and doing it for the craft.
Yeah.
And it's slowly built, so I definitely love doing that now. And performing, when it comes to performing, like, it's just like a true raw self. I don't have time to keep editing this shit.
Yeah.
I spend so much time recording, like, that mind has to be transferred to in the moment. I want this to be transferred, and it's a process that, like, after performing for so many years now, it's like almost, I don't even know how to describe it. Because, going through my own timeline, like, I don't want to skip so far, because I just was talking about the first time I performed, but just expressing the emotion and the energy that you did live is like, it's unexplainable. It's almost the highest of the high.
It's different, man, because when I go into a studio, I literally, I try to perform shit like I would live in the studio, and it never works. It never works, because I end up running out of breath, or the take just isn't clean, so I have to literally, like, tell myself, Jesse, fucking slow down so you can fucking spit the verse correct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I just, like, approach music with that much passion every time. But I would think, because of that, being in a studio and then performing, I think it helps each other. I think the more you perform, the better you're going to be in the studio, and probably vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, if the more time you perform, when you get into that studio, you're going to be prepared. Then again, you may not be prepared if you think performing is the same thing as recording. It's not. It's a totally different element. And that's why I think what you're saying, it's important to put your mind in that spot where it needs to be for that minute. Because if you don't, then you just have too much going on, or you're trying to do too much, or it just doesn't work out. You need to really focus in. And a lot of the time I do have to dial in and be like, all right, this is the last take I'm taking of this, because I'm tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I've learned lately too, because I did start as a recording. I'm just recording only, not performing. When you only record, you're just recording. You're listening to yourself. You're listening as recording. But after I started performing, now when I record, like, because there's songs now that I've performed that I don't have recorded at all. Because usually I already had them all recorded, and then I would perform them. But when you do the opposite, where you perform them, but you haven't recorded it.
I like that.
I mean, even if you are planning on recording that song one day, just performing it actually is going to help that recording, because you've already learned new melodies. Like, when you do certain songs live, I've already, like, you learn other things that are actually better that you can do that you might not have figured out when you were recording it. Yep. So,
and also you could sit there after your performance and even ask the crowd, yo, what did you think of this track? I haven't recorded it yet. What do you guys think? And get some feedback, and that'll probably help your recording session too.
Yeah, that's
so
huge.
It's really a counter. They go together almost hand in hand a lot of the times.
It's very huge. So I'm glad we touched on that, because I've been thinking about that lately, and you never know when that's going to hit you. I guess you have to kind of do both to get to that stage. But hearing this might help someone get there faster, or just try it out, you know, be like, because try and perform a song before you record it, or even record it, then perform it, and then so it's not finalized. Things like that.
And I also recommend definitely take the time to learn the song. You know, going and performing that before you actually record it is going to better prepare you in the studio, because you will have that memorized. You're not going in reading off a phone. Now, I can do that. I've done studio sessions where I write in one session and then immediately record it, and it turned out fine, you know. But I think if you learn your verse better, and a lot of the times I really try to do this, I really try to learn my shit and be able to perform it live before I even record it. Yeah. And those songs usually turn out excellent because I got the pocket. you know, I got it all sounding good. I know every little bit that, and I practice how I want to use my cadence on the bars too. You know, when you're writing sometimes, right. I don't necessarily go full go while I'm writing the verse, so I'm rapping it. Usually I'm just kind of spitting it to myself real quick, not really trying that hard. So yeah, you need to really, I have to actually write the verse and then figure out not only how to keep the flow, but how to actually rap it. So yeah, performing your stuff and making sure you're prepared. Go into a studio prepared. Perform it live first even. That's actually really good advice.
And yeah, what I've learned too is like, some of us, you know, we're doing a lot of songs, like, we want to collab, you know, like the projects start building up. Yeah. But you also have your own solo stuff. So I've learned like there's certain songs, you know, that I am going to place that weight on that I know that might have that better potential that you will, you know, perform first, take that time. And then there are some songs, hey, let's get it down. Let's not waste the time while we're here. Let's write it real quick, record it. So music has all those different places that, you know, I'm just trying to balance. But yeah, performing wise, like, yeah, I'm trying to take my favorite songs and like getting that feedback and seeing what people like, because my style is a little different. Like, I go with experimental overall with what I would say. So like, I don't truly fit in with any genre specifically or any like music crew here, but I want to. And like the hip hop scene's like where I feel like I fit in the most. Yeah, like I love it. I love hip hop, and we can kind of take that into the rapper versus artist thing.
Yeah, I was just about to say, man, you're killing it with the segues right now. We're flowing like a motherfucker.
Like, and you know, it's not that I don't like to be not called a rapper or something like that, but when I hear it, it's just like, it doesn't really fit me or suit me. It's like, obviously, you know, my influences and stuff aren't like true hip-hop artists or rappers.
Exactly.
Or
You're
like
not
that.
really influenced by rappers necessarily.
Like, but now, you know, that I'm into the craft, I listen to a lot of rappers now. Or call them rappers. Like, I don't even like to call anyone rappers for some reason, but if people like to be called that, I don't even know. Like, do people I don't know.
I would consider myself a rapper because I don't do anything else musically. But I'm more of a poet MC than anything.
Right.
Than a rapper. I don't know. Do you think there's a difference between an MC and a rapper? And Tony and all those people chime in on that. What do you guys think? MC versus rapper. Is there a difference? What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I would say there's definitely a difference. I mean, if we wouldn't say there was or wasn't, or if there wasn't two different words, then I don't think it would exist. Like, MC, what does that really mean?
So MCs are masters of ceremonies, meaning they're hosts. They rock crowds. They can control the crowd really easily and flawlessly.
And I was gonna say, mic control. Like, having that mic control is really a craft. It's really an art, and like that
and MCs often are more poetic as well.
Right.
So they can rock crowds. They're poetic. They have a message. And another thing about being an MC is being able to improvise. So that's why freestyle rapping is very important as an MC. But I mean, you just need to be able to kick bars offhand, and you just need to be able to get on a mic and take control of that mic, and not seem like you're shy. And that's the difference between an MC. A rapper plugs his phone in and raps his songs. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the term rapper can have like good things, I guess, in a way too, where it's not, you're just plugging your phone in and stuff. Like a generic rapper.
A rapper can be very entertaining at the same time though.
Yeah, and there's rappers like that doesn't take down the skill at all. Like, there's some rappers that have a lot of skill, and they're like, you could be a rapper and they're like, you know, they have their own craft down and things like that, or know the genre they're doing, or know how to please the crowd, or what kind of vibe you're going for.
There's rappers that can do that. Yep.
So when I just like to watch all different types of people live, and like, you get a good experience, and you could almost learn more about someone seeing them live than just listening to their music. It's interesting.
You do.
It's probably the most profound thing.
That is definite.
So that's what.
Actually, I think Kennedy Clark, Young Havoc, he was talking about that. He made a video, and he was talking about how he loves to watch people perform, even more than listen to their music, just because he really learns more about the artist from that one moment than he'll even listening to a whole album.
Right.
And I think that's the truth, man. I think if you I enjoyed seeing you live the few times I
was just gonna say that when I saw you,
know?
like, I mean, that's just.
Yep. And then there's a few examples in this city. Like, you go listen to Snap Murphy's music, he's gonna impress you, but you see him live, he's gonna blow your mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to experience MCs firsthand, because that's where the talent really shines.
I think I'm like trying to actually put myself out there, make that dedication, like say no, I do want to take the music seriously. This is something I love, and I just feel like it's so unique to me. Like now that I'm starting to hear other people's that do synergize with it and also helping me grow, we all grow together in that way. Like it's just a weird musical thing. That's why we're here now. We're just growing, and people that understand, and other artists. And Vegas, in a way, is a town where everyone wants to be on their own thing, whether it's music, whether it's whatever. Everyone's in that style, so it's hard to come together. Different sides of town is that we're all just in our own thing. Yeah. So it really helps just open up a little bit as an artist, and we're making these small moves that are becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and that's really what this movement, Rebel Underground, is about. Just bringing some unity to this city, so we're not all out in our different fucking cliques, and instead we bring a super clique.
Right.
That's what it's about, man. Shit. So we asked you like the difference between an MC and a rapper, but what do you think makes a rapper different from an artist?
I mean, in that sense, because being an artist now, I feel like this generation, like everyone wants to have this defined.
Yeah, I feel like everybody thinks they're an artist, but what really is an artist to you?
I just think when someone's out there giving it their all, and they can feel, no matter what they're doing, like that synergy, whether it's multiple people on stage or just solo.
What's up, Justin?
That just makes you an artist in the moment. Like being an artist or claiming to be an artist, like you have to do things. It's all these actions that make it. So I can mentally be an artist, but like if other people view me as an artist, like my definition might not even matter. It kind of matters more of what the collective of an artistry is. Yeah. And to me, I guess that's what it is. So they kind of work together.
When I think of an artist, the first word that comes to my mind is originality. Having their own expression or way of expressing that nobody is doing, and maybe not even just not doing, but just has their own wave. You know what I'm saying? Isn't copycatting some other rapper. And there's a lot of rappers that sound the same. That's why we can usually put people in a bubble, or we can say you sound like this, you sound like that. Everybody. But I think artists, they don't sound like anybody. And they're usually doing something artistically. Maybe it's not even their music. Maybe it's their music videos. Maybe it's their album art. Or maybe it's just they've done something else artistically with themselves that isn't necessarily even music. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think artists are not only original, but they're open. They're not locked in a box. Right. And that's why you can't just say I'm a rapper, because I'm not a rapper. I'm an artist. You have a lot of audio experience and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess here.
And I would say your style is very original.
Yeah, I think
so. I would consider you an artist for sure.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess when it comes down to it, I guess that puts me in a box right away.
Oh, Mark, get at me.
I'm talking about nice. I guess hearing that term to me right away, that puts you in a box right away. You're a rapper. It's like, I wouldn't say I'm not, but there's more to me. So yeah, it's like not a bad thing, I guess, to be called a rapper or things. But yeah, when you feel like I do more, then you want them to know that, even though they might have only seen you once. So
and sometimes it's hard to express all that too. Especially in like a song. To say that look at this as more than rap. Look at it as something that's artistic. Yeah. Shout outs to Tony though. He's been sticking around.
That's what's up. Yeah. Thank you guys for staying.
He's the man. He's an amazing artist. He has a group, a graphic design group called Sketchy People Studios. Please go like him. He actually did our logo for Rebel Underground. Really dope shit. Does all original custom sketch work. It's fucking amazing. So definitely go check him out. And I would say XT, man, you ever need like some single art or you need an album art, Tony's your guy, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he'll draw you something fresh.
I love to learn from everyone and kind of, that's what I'm all about, just collabing and doing things. But it's taking that time to also get there. We're all, you know, growing in our lives and trying to make these things happen.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get there if we're persistent and we stay in that mind frame. And obviously the understanding you have and the understanding a lot of people have is astounding. So let's get it. Let's get up there.
Hell yeah. So what do you got next? What's next for XT Dream? Are you working on a project? You gonna hit some open mics soon?
I was gonna touch on that too, because I think as artists, we're all concentrating on so many different things now. There's so many elements to music, like I was saying, recording and things and that. And I'm used to recording all the time, but lately I haven't had that chance and space and to do all those things, which I miss. So I've been performing more now. Like I'm just trying to get out there and perform. Like, hey, if I can't record right now, I'm gonna perform and get my tracks down. And I have a lot of tracks mentally that are like not recorded, and I'm used to having that. So I'm constantly like practicing them, finding the ones I like. Putting things on the back burner, unfortunately, and just letting them
happens
sit.
A lot.
And I'm finding, you know, I want to make things happen when I can and not waste any of those moments, so to speak. So this is something that's important. So yeah, I'm gonna continue with that, continue performing, you know, get feedback from the crowd and from other artists. It actually means more to me than the most. Like when other artists are telling me what's up, or like getting the props, or that constructive criticism.
And unless they're straight haters, they'll probably give you some feedback.
And me being an awkward artist, or like I feel like, you know, people don't expect sometimes what I'm gonna do on stage and get a blast of energy. It's almost sometimes hard to take in at once, or approach me, or I'm not always approachable, or I might be weird, or just happy, whatever. So I'm trying to, you know, do better crowd work and like talk with people, get more personal,
become more
like,
of an MC,
let people know who I am, and this is part of it. Like, thank you, obviously, because like I never get interviews. Like I always want to do things like that, or just express in a natural way, and you're a good conduit for that. So I'm glad you know that.
So Tony's asking who you are. So this is XT Dream. He's a hip hop artist that's been around the scene for a minute. He does very conscious hip hop. I've actually sat and kicked it. We fucking freestyled throughout the entire night. Just had a good time. He's a really interesting person. He's deep. He's smart. And he's really coming into his own as far as the hip hop. He was talking earlier. He's been in a lot of different bands, a lot of different genres, but hip hop is, you would say, kind of new.
Not necessarily. Like I've been rhyming or rapping since 14.
Right.
Like, doing those things, but like truly performing, and like I'm evolving now. Like I feel like my last record, like I'm moving way past that, and just like
you get better with every.
I'm just creating songs that are more crowd worthy, but still in my style. So it's like fun to like find how those interactions react, or like doing super experimental songs, or like changing the vibe between two songs. It's and watching the crowd change the vibes. Like for me, once I hit the stage, I almost instantly know like what people are thinking, like the energy, like just this weird conscious comes over me where I know all these things.
Because you're empathetic.
And then I start analyzing myself too much. But sometimes when you're feeling so good and you're in the moment, that's like the funnest to be, because you're doing your own music. And if you love your own music, then you're going to be loving performing. And if others are loving it too, then what better feeling is that? And it also helps you practice and get to yourself. And I want to perform more. Like I've been doing a lot of open mics, so hopefully it leads to opportunities to where I'm performing a set or things like that. So I'm just trying to get myself together, so I'm ready for something like that too, which I always am. But I want to keep elevating either way.
So one more question. So I think it was yesterday you dropped a thing on YouTube, like In the Life of XT Dream. What was that all about? That like came out of nowhere for me. I was like, oh shit. So tell me the inspiration for that and what's
actually,
that all about?
You know, my homie AJ, he made it happen. He came out with the camera. He's another artist.
Okay.
I know there's an AJ with you guys.
Yeah,
but it's
AJ.
A different AJ.
Oh, different AJ. Okay.
AJ Rhodes will go. But yeah, he came out with the camera, and I'm not used to having things like that either. So it was actually cool that he did that. You know, he just took a couple shots. It was actually my birthday that night, So everyone was out there. He just did random videos when he came after I performed over there. And then he put that little segment up. And he asked me a question at the end of the night, too. And I was in my own mind. And obviously you can watch the video and see what I said. Excuse me. But, no, yeah, it was cool. And I think it's getting a cool response. And that's part of what I'm trying to do is reach out in those ways. Just show myself if it's awkward or not. And kind of promote more things and connect with people in a different way, because I usually promote SoundCloud the most.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, you know, like most artists have SoundCloud, but most other people don't. So if I'm like a casual fan comes up,
casual fans don't necessarily have.
They're like, oh, well, they'll check me out. But
the casual fan is on Spotify and iTunes and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
And even for that really is not the best for me because I'm on Spotify. So, but
that takes a distribution deal. And
instead of like just promoting my music, I kind of want to promote. Well, Instagram now or things like that, where it's more personal. I can get to know people.
Facebook, yeah.
And then if anyone invests just a little bit of time with you, they'll like your music even more just because they like you. Yeah. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
And so that's been my issue.
Yeah, and that's really an important element. And that's why at Rebel Underground, we try and do a podcast or like a web series or something for these artists. Because it gets you into that personal realm where they exist as well, and you get to learn about them more as a person than just an artist and somebody who's making music. I think it's important for a lot of artists to do that. That's how like Wiz Khalifa got huge. That's how Wiz Khalifa got huge, dude. He had a bunch of successful mixtapes and shit, but his stuff on YouTube of him after shows partying with fucking 100 blunts and all this shit, that shit was lit, man, and that got millions of views, man. And just that really showed you who Wiz Khalifa isn't just like this weed rapper. He's actually a really fun person. Right. You know, it lets you it takes away misconceptions sometimes that you have about artists.
I think like Tony said, bringing up YouTube, like I want to do a video and hit that market because I haven't hit that ever at all. Like made a true video. That's one of my songs that shows who I am.
Yeah, YouTube is universal.
That's one of the things that I don't know about at least is how to do video, shoot video.
Right.
It's not that hard, but like I just need a little help and it'll happen. I think too. I want to just have something that's not even that built up, just something easy, even a quick video that just shows. This interview's awesome too. Like just to have things to continually show who we are.
Yeah, and when I get home, I'm going to download this, and it's going straight on YouTube.
Nice.
So there you go.
So yeah, we'll have that. Yeah, that's one thing. So I appreciate everyone watching. Like it's been.
So
good.
where can they find your music? Drop your SoundCloud real quick.
So yeah, we'll go SoundCloud, and this is another problem I have. Like every time I perform, I always usually just go up there. I'm energetic, loving it, and then I'll just get off stage, and I won't even say my artist name. I won't tell everyone. I'm just like fuck that. I was always in the moment to where all that stuff really doesn't matter, so to speak. Like I want everyone to know that, but I'm just like so high sometimes where you're like in the and not smoking wise, just
just high on the
at the performance. It's like, oh shit, like
I feel you.
Damn, that was fun. But yeah, I'm trying to get better at expressing my name, XT Dream as the artist. So XT space Dream. Sometimes you got to hear it twice to remember. SoundCloud is where I put like most of my new stuff or things that I'm working on, because I've been on that site for a while and I've actually made a lot of connections through that.
Me too.
It's helped me evolve as an artist and a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah, me.
So I always represent that. I am on Spotify. My album's on there. iTunes, things like that. So XT Dreams, search it up. Check it out.
So is your SoundCloud just soundcloud.com/XT Dream, all one thing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
easy enough, guys.
Yep, easy enough. Press enter. And my first album I recorded all myself. But now I'm trying to elevate
XT
everything
Dream,
to the
not
next level.
dreams. No S, just Dream.
Yeah. That's true. That sometimes happens. Where they'll say Extreme Dream or XT Dreams.
Extreme Dream.
Things like that. Yeah, no, I get mistaken for a lot of people or names or things. So I've grown used to, being judged in certain ways and just kind of evolving with that and just educating people instead of being mad or anything. Just be like, hey, no, this is it and that's why it is.
Yep.
Things like that. And I think people will appreciate that more.
Yep. Well, definitely go check him out. I'm your host, Coherent, XT Dream. He just dropped his link. If you missed it, go back. Wait till this is over. This is the Rebel Underground podcast. I appreciate you. Even though you had a little trouble with your car and everything, we still made it happen, bro.
Making it through. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, man. Peace out, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Until next time.
Stay true.
Stay blessed.